welcome back, guys. Chris with Dirt Road Life, and it's Friday night. Gonna take a break from chores. It's like 95 degrees and 100% humidity out here, so I don't feel like doing a whole lot. But I'm getting super excited for archery season, so I want to shoot the bow a little bit tonight. I've been doing some other stuff to get ready for archery season this week. I've got 2 food plots that I put in over the last week, turn-up plots. So I'm going to check on those this weekend. Going to check a bunch of cameras this weekend and see what's out there to hunt. Maybe I'll bring you guys along for some of that. But tonight I want to shoot the bow. So I'm shooting at about 100 yards right now. I really like stretching it out a little bit, because if you can shoot, you know, pretty good and confidently at 100 yards, your 50 yard and in shots are going to be a lot easier shots, especially under pressure, which is pretty much any archery situation where you're trying to kill a buck or something. So this is an Elite option 7. It's a 60-pound draw bow. I think it's like 27.5 or 28-inch draw, pretty short. I'm a short guy with short arms, and pretty light arrow. I've got just a QAD drop away, and this is a black gold 3-pin slider sight. So I've got this, you know, the marks actually only go out to 100. I've shot it out to 140, and I've just got pen marks where that actually, where I actually have to slide that up to. But pretty nice sight. I do like that, especially for stuff like this, for practicing in the yard. All right, so I'll put the real camera on here. Get you guys a little zoomed in. Maybe you can see those impact. Maybe you can't, I don't know. I'll find out when I go to edit this video. Got about a 5 to 7 mile per hour crosswind here, which makes it a little bit interesting. It's pretty fast. So we'll take that into account. It's going to want to carry my arrow a little bit, so I'll probably have to aim just a little bit low. And really, we're not trying to hit the center. We're trying to hold in the same spot and group good. Really, it doesn't matter if we're hitting center every time. We really want to get consistent groups when we're doing this. So let's see what happens. I always try to, I've got a kisser button on this, so try to repeat my anchor point every time. I'm not using any kind of special release, and really just trying to relax my front hand, get to the same anchor point, and just squeeze that trigger off, kind of like you would with a gun. Oops. It's a little noisy. So the center of my bag is shot out, so usually the quieter the shot, the better the shot is. That one felt like money. It's the first time I've shot. I haven't warmed up any closer today. Just got home. All right, let's go see where those landed. You guys might already know on here. I do have my binos, but we'll just go up and find out together. What's up, bud? Hey, go back. Gosh dang it, Vigo. He's learning his new collar. Apparently not very quickly. All right, so that was some pretty good shooting. I've got one outlier here. The other three are in pretty much in the bull, but they're all within a pie plate. So that's really what you're looking for, is some consistency. But I'm really liking those three. If you took that last one out that I was obviously a little off on, then the other three look really, really nice. So let's move it out a little bit. Let's do like 120 or something and see what we do. Come on, bud. All right. See how we do. I don't know. Oops, I don't want to use that one. Well, it doesn't even have a field point on it. All right. Let's go see if that's any better. Sorry. Switch to night shot on you. Alright, well, I gotta figure out my elevation at 120. My pin, or my marks just don't seem to be working. So, got a little bit of work to do there, but that's a pretty good group at 120 yards. That's within a pie plate, easily within a pie plate. They're probably 8 inches, so 8-inch group, that's not bad for 4 arrows at 120 yards. Let's try something a little different. So don't be afraid to mix it up. And one of the things I like to do is, you know, I won't necessarily start out further, but I'll end closer than I started. I try to end the night on a good note. So, you know, say I'm at 60, 70 yards and I'm getting tired, my group's starting to get a little bit bigger. I'll actually move in and try to shoot a good group, even if it's at a closer distance, but it's really good to end the night on a good note. I can't remember if it was Cam Haynes I was watching or somebody else, but they said always try to end the night on a good note, because otherwise you can get frustrated. That can carry over into your next shoot, and it can be a confidence killer. So, you know, just try to end it on a good note. Let's go up here on the skid steer bucket. We'll simulate shooting out of a tree stand and see how that goes. I'm gonna have to put like a telephone pole out here in the yard so I can stick a tree stand on it. I think that'd make for a good video too. What do you guys think? The other thing I would say is, if you're starting to get tired, don't shoot as many arrows at a time, you know? I know for a fact, this was Cameron Haynes that said this, you only should be really shooting 1 or 2 arrows at a time. At further distances like I'm shooting, I don't want to walk back and forth each time that I shoot 120 yards. But, you know, say you're shooting at 30, 40 yards, shoot 1 or 2 arrows. You're never going to shoot more than that at a deer anyway. So there's really nothing you're gaining by shooting 4 arrows. You're tiring yourself out, and the last arrow or last 2 arrows are going to be harder to keep on target. So shoot 3 this time, I guess. Alright, that felt pretty good. Let's go see what we did there. Doesn't hurt to have one of your favorite beverages too with you. Gets you a little bit more loosened up, relaxed, and I think I shoot a little better. Once in a while I'll go out on the dock. It's not an extremely far shot, it's about 40 yards, but it's good practice because it starts to kind of float around a little bit. Acts like you're up in a swaying tree or something. So just get creative with it. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. I'd say that's about, that's a 5 or 6 inch group at 75 yards, 74 yards. So that's the whole point of this exercise is, you know, none of us, or very few of us, are ever going to be taking a 120 yard shot on a deer. I've shot dozens, probably 30, maybe 40 deer with my bow over the years. I don't know, a lot, but I think my furthest shot on a deer with a bow, even out west where you're always taking longer shots, it seems like, or usually taking longer shots, the furthest shot I've ever taken on a deer was, I think, 50 yards. So if I can do this and I can shoot confidently out to 120 yards and I know I'm going to be in a pie plate, I can, with confidence, shoot a deer at 50 yards, you know, on the hoof, in an adrenaline pumping situation. You know, if it's a big buck or whatever the situation may be, maybe I did a spot and stalk and I snuck up on this thing. Who knows what the circumstances are, but it's always going to be in the heat of the moment when you're hunting. It may not be as far of a shot, but you're going to be happy you practiced out to these longer ranges, because if you're confident in those, you're going to be confident when you squeeze that trigger off at a closer range. One other tip I've got for you guys, if you're worried about, and a lot of people will be, I mean, arrows are expensive. I've probably got, you know, without a broadhead on these, just buying them by the half dozen or whatever, they're probably 12 bucks an arrow, maybe a little bit more. Arrows are expensive. It doesn't matter what ones you buy. Even if you're buying Walmart arrows, you don't want to lose them. So me and my buddy used to go to a sand pit down the road from work, and that's where we got the confidence to start moving out long range. And we would just take the target, and we'd kind of chisel off a shelf on one of these big sand cliffs, and we would shoot at the target, and everything behind it would be sand, just a big wall of sand, and you'd shoot into that and it would do 0 damage to your arrow if you missed. So easily could find your arrow. You're not shooting into weeds and brush and stuff. So if you want to get the confidence to move out, maybe you put a big pile of topsoil, or you find a sand pit in your area, something like that, because you know, to buy a giant target or something, so if you're all over the place, it gets very expensive. Or of course you can always just work your way out. You know, if you're shooting at 50, maybe you start shooting at 60 and then 70. But if you want to just kind of go for it, I would suggest probably doing something like what we did and shoot into a big bank of sand or gravel or topsoil or whatever the case may be. So I hope you guys enjoyed these tips in this video, but that kind of is going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't already, and let's get ready for this archery season.